With the housing market in Winston-Salem and frankly most parts of the country being as crazy as it is, a lot of people that hadn't thought about it previously are now thinking about buying a new construction home. There are some great reasons to do that, and in this video we're going to talk about the pros and cons of buying new construction in Winston-Salem versus buying an existing house. This is going to be a little bit more local specific, so stick around to see these. And just a couple quick notes before we get into the pros and cons. I'm recording this in early May of 2022. So the supply chain issues that we've had over the last 2 years are not all the way fixed by any means. They have gotten a little bit better. If you're watching this video right when it comes out, just know that the new construction days of going in and I'm gonna buy this house on this lot with these finishes and this it's not quite working that way again yet. If your needs are urgent, please reach out to me. We can have more of a one-on-one conversation about that. But let's get right into it. I'm Jeff Valentino. I love helping people buy and sell houses in Winston-Salem and Greensboro. If I can help you, please reach out. My contact information is below. All right, so the first pro of buying a new construction house in Winston-Salem versus an existing one is that it's new, right? It's a new house, right? There's something special about having a brand new house. Something special about, that you've heard of the new car smell. Well, the new house smell is probably even better. I've never had a brand new house before. I've helped lots of people buy them, and I can tell you just there's a different sense of pride and satisfaction when you walk into a brand new house. The first con of buying a new construction house versus an existing construction home is the contracts used are not always state-specific forms. And what does that mean to you? Well, it means in North Carolina, when you're looking, we're looking at existing homes and we read an offer on one of those, we have a North Carolina state real estate form. It's got certain protections built in there for the consumer and for the seller as well, but there's things in there that can really protect the buyer. Now, builders, on the other hand, all of them, most of them, as a matter of fact, don't use the state forms. They have their own version of these contracts. And what those can do is they protect the builder. They're going to have things written in there that protects them, that in some cases allows them to increase the price if demand goes way high or if the cost of materials go way up. They can increase the price. There's escalation clauses in there. There's lots of built-in protections for the builder and far fewer for the buyer. This is one of the reasons why it's super important that you have representation, even if you're buying a brand new construction home. Side rant here, but the people that work in those builder centers and at those model homes, as nice as they are, they work for the builder. They work for the seller. They can't, they're representing them first. Of course, they can sell you a house, but you really should, even if you're looking at new construction, have your own separate representation. Somebody that has a fiduciary responsibility to you and only you. They can point out these things on the contract that so you can be aware of. A lot of times it's not a big deal, but man, especially in the last couple of years, I've seen some crazy things go on with these where prices all of a sudden get jacked up or this level of trim was dropped to that. And if you don't know about that going in, to have a discussion with your agent to where you can talk and maybe work through some of those things, it can really take you by surprise. I don't want that to happen to you. So again, these contracts, the first con is that they really can protect the builder. All right, the next pro about buying new construction in Winston-Salem is you get brand new modern floor plans and modern construction. This is important, especially in a city like Winston-Salem where we have a lot of historic homes. I mean, some, going back to 1800s all the way up until, brand new construction. There's a lot of varying different kinds of constructions, and some are inherently going to be more work, cost more to maintain, a little bit different, quality of craftsmanship and things like that went into them. Well, when you're buying a new construction house, you have the most up-to-date construction methods, the highest safety standards. There's the most modern floor plans, with modern floor plans that are very appealing for today's buyers. Now, the next con about buying a new construction home in Winston-Salem is some of the neighborhoods can have that, that cookie cutter feel. That's what people tend to describe it as a lot, where you're just gonna see like the Truman Show, those rows and rows of houses on there where they're all looking very similar and the houses are set back just the same. You can get into those tract builder neighborhoods where it just all kind of looks like the same. Now, there are some neighborhoods that aren't going to feel like that. We're going to use a lot of variety of different styles, or if you're going custom or semi-custom, obviously you're going to see a lot more variation in houses. But you just know some of those traditional kind of track home builders, they're going to get in with small lots, houses really close together, and it could just kind of give that neighborhood that, you know, what is described often as that cookie cutter feel. So the next pro about buying new construction in Winston-Salem is you get to pick all the finishes. You get to pick all your colors. You get to pick the cabinets, the countertops, the hardware, the light fixtures. The more I'm saying that, is that a pro? For me, sometimes it's not the best. I did the first house I was ever buying, actually, I was doing a full remodel of it. So we gutted everything in the kitchen and, you know, all the main floor, and just picking all that stuff. It started out fun at first, but then it got to be a little bit like, ugh, it wasn't as much fun for me. So I don't know if I would want to do that again. I would like to just find a package and probably go with that. But a pro for a lot of people is you get to pick a lot of the finishes. You get to pick, you know, your appliances, your light fixtures, what kind of stone is going to go around the fireplace. You get to do all those fun things and just make the house really yours. You can personalize it, customize it more to your taste. So you get to select all those things. So that's a huge pro in buying new construction. All right, the next con about buying a new construction home in Winston-Salem is you're constantly living new. You're living in a new area. There's a lot of construction. So we'll just call this con living new. The neighborhood is not developed, right? The landscaping is going to be less mature. All the trees are going to be a lot of times those, you know, little small trees, and not a lot of growth and development in the bushes, and, you know, just all those things like that as far as landscape goes. But also you're going to have a lot of people coming in and out all the time while the neighborhood is getting developed, a lot of construction equipment going in and out, dust, dirt, debris that goes along with that. And I know some people that after they've bought a house, they didn't realize about all those things that were going to be going on, and it really kind of got on their nerves of the, you know, the cement trucks coming in every morning at 7 and the pounding all the time because they're building the houses across and down the street. That's something to consider if you're thinking about buying a new construction home, because you're going to be living new like that for a while as long as that neighborhood is being developed. The next pro about buying a new construction home is the areas and the amenities that are in the neighborhoods. So the areas of new construction homes, a lot of times they're in a couple different spots. They're going to be in really highly desirable areas that has a good location to get into town, or really popular school zones, or they are in areas that are kind of up and coming, or some even just out on the outskirts is the other side. But that new construction makes those areas highly desirable, which brings more people, more money, and more things to do down there. The other thing about buying new construction is the amenities. A lot of these neighborhoods are being designed with a lot of great amenities. You have something all the way on one end, like in Brookberry Farms, where you have a beautiful clubhouse, tennis courts, pools, places for the community to gather. You know, you have some with amenities like that, all the way down to scale back a little bit, but they always usually have some type of amenities in there. You know, a clubhouse area, a lot have neighborhood pools or picnic shelters that you can reserve for parties. They're designed with a lot of green space or playgrounds for the kids. Just a lot more thought is going into these newer construction communities versus a lot of the older construction homes where they're not going to have quite as many amenities. All right, the last con, and probably one of the big ones about buying new construction, is the added expenses can really add up. In all the years I've been doing this, I haven't seen where someone sees a new construction house advertised at $400,000 and that's what they get and that's where they're at, right? There's always going to be things you want to add on. There's going to be things you want to change. There's going to be things that you want to upgrade. And I can just tell you that those expenses really tend to add up. Some of the common ones are light fixtures and kitchen upgrades, or if you want to do something, you don't want that, insert shower, you want a nice tiled shower in there, so you're going to upgrade that. You want to add a little bit more landscaping, all those different things like that. You can start with a $400,000 house and you're making changes, and then, just kind of, it's so fun and easy when you're in there shopping and picking on the list. All of a sudden now you're at $450 and you're like, wait a minute, what did I do here? So the moral of the story is to look a little bit less, or don't look at the max of your budget, because there are always going to be add-ons and things you want to change that is going to make the cost a little bit higher than you're anticipating. But just be careful, because those add-ons, they can really make the cost of the project go up. And I've even seen before where some people really want to over-improve the house, and it's in the budget, but they over-improve for the neighborhood, and then the house doesn't appraise, and then we're in trouble with having to cover an appraisal gap on new construction, which is rare, but it does happen. So these things can really add up, so just be a little bit cautious. It's important while you have an agent with you to talk you through some of these things and just kind of, not necessarily rein you in, but just help prioritize some of these other choices just to make sure you're making the right ones, or to help you decide what the right ones are. If you have questions about buying or selling real estate in Winston-Salem, I'd love to be a resource for you. My contact information is below. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much.